What's going on, everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here. It's time to review The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 13, titled The Same Boat. This is a spoiler review. Make sure you have seen the episode. It should take me less than 3 minutes to recap the episode, give you the pros, cons, and final score. Thank you so much for joining me. I also review other shows like Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Better Call Saul, much more, man, so check that out. I review weekly, or every movie that comes out weekly, basically, I review. I just reviewed 10 Cloverfield Lane. I have a non-spoiler review and spoiler review, so if you guys want to check that out, really would appreciate that. And, man, let's get right to it, man. Crazy episode of Walking Dead. Really very emotional, very dialogue-driven episode. In 3 more weeks, and that's it, man. 3 more weeks until we see Negan. Oh my gosh, it's coming. And it's coming hard, man. It's spring break for me. Maybe it's spring break for you. It's spring break. Have a good time, man. Enjoy yourself. Daredevil Season 2 in like 4 days. 4 days. Punisher's ready. Right there. Oh, there it is. Punisher. Anyway, back to this. Walking Dead. Carol and Maggie are caught, and we see their point of perspective from last week's episode. And they're caught, and they talk to Rick, basically. Or there's the groups that caught Carol and Maggie. Her name is Paula, and she basically talks to Rick on the radio, of course, from last week, like, hey, asshole with a colt, that sort of thing. So they're talking about a tray. They end up locking up Carol and Maggie in this warehouse, not warehouse, but in this like abandoned building. Carol is having a panic attack, or at least that's what I call it, because Carol was like with a gag, and she was like, and like Maggie's like, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Carol, what do you... I was like, because when I'm watching this, dude, I'm in the mode, I'm in the zone, I'm in Walking Dead mode, and I'm thinking like, what the hell are you doing, Carol? Are you trying to die? Like, and literally the girl's like, shut up, and she's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop, shut up, man. I was literally getting scared for a moment, dude. So they have a little talk, man. She has the cross also, you know, and this old lady, she's like, you're one of those. And she's smoking a cigarette and everything, and I only have 3 left. I'm going to buy a new pack tomorrow. But I was like, yo, and then I heard her cough, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's one of the things about cigarettes. You know, they're fun while you're young and everything, but when you're older, if you do too much, I mean, she probably smoked a pack a day before the apocalypse. That's not good. If you do 4 a day, you're totally fine. But if you do a pack a day, what's wrong with you? Money-wise, dude, holy shit, that's pretty bad. But anyway, the whole cigarette thing, and basically like secondhand smoke, and she's like, honey, secondhand smoke is at least your same stuff like that. So anyway, we're in the same boat because she's a dead girl walking, she's coughing blood, so she was gonna die anyway, so, you know, it's okay later in the episode if she gets, you know, bashed her head in. Paula is hit by this man, or the guy in her group, and she ends up hurting the guy, and he's laying on the floor. She talks back to Carol, you know, she doesn't care that her daughter died and everything, and about hope and faith. You know, she talks about the cross, or about cross. This other girl, I never got her name, but she talks to Maggie, and, you know, talking about that she lost her baby, and she wants to know where Maggie lives. So Carol talks to Paula and mentions Negan. She's literally crying, and she's like, Negan. And at that moment, you know, the girl with the cigarette, she's like, oh, honey, we're all Negan. And then Paula's like, I'm Negan. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck? Literally, and I'm sorry to use vulgar language if you're easily offended, but I'm literally like, I know who Negan is. I do know. And of course, I'm expecting Jeffrey Dean Morgan anytime. Anytime he's allowed to come on, bring him in, man. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, to all the viewers who don't know about Negan and never heard about his casting, they're going to be like, oh, Negan's like a metaphor or something. Oh, or like, oh, Negan is just what they call them, like, and I'm thinking like, oh fuck, this is gonna screw things up. Like, oh great, they're gonna start this now, and people are gonna be like, hey, Negan's this, Negan's that, but of course they'll figure out later on. But you know, I was like, shit, great, we have to go with this now. So anyway, I wasn't a big fan of that, you know, for them, because girls like, really, your name's Negan? Sure thing. So Paula talks about being a secretary and, you know, blowing her boss, you know, every day and every night. No, I'm kidding, that was a joke. But I kind of had a sense she was going to say, like, he raped me or something and I killed him when he turned a zombie. Something like that. I thought she was going to say something hardcore like that, but gladly it wasn't bad like that. She had 4 kids and everything, and the apocalypse happened, so she had some shit going on, dude, so it's pretty crazy. And she's like, I love how Carol's like, you're going to die. And she's like, well, are you going to do it? I hope not. That was pretty epic, dude. I hope not. Carol escapes and gets Maggie. Maggie kills the old lady that was always smoking cigarettes, dude. She literally... The guy that was on the ground that Paula ended up throwing on the floor, he was dead the whole time. They end up, like, getting something... They kill him, of course, and the old lady comes in. She ends up getting bit by him. They use him as a trap. Maggie literally is like... Literally, dude, and the blood is covering up in the camera and everything. So, of course, Paula sees the bodies, and she goes after Carol and Maggie. There's this big fight that goes on, man. They end up killing the girl that was talking to Maggie earlier, like, where do you live? Carol ends up killing her because literally they got into a fight and she had a knife. She stabbed Maggie, or like sliced her like in the stomach. Not deep, not like it was like, oh my guts are falling out, oh no, oh fuck. You know, nothing like that. It was more like, really? And basically like that sort of cut. But I do have to say, you know, I love the way like Carol was literally just like, walk. Like that. Like, you couldn't have just used the gun earlier. Are you kidding me? But that was okay, man. And then Carol versus Paula, and they end up killing Paula. She goes through a spear and everything, and basically the zombie eats her. Pretty sexy. So they kill the saviors that come. She's like, Carol's like, meet on the killing floor. And I was like, God. So they meet on the killing floor. They're like, haha. I think they're in this room. They go inside and everything. Haha, we work for Negan. Haha. And basically Carol's like, and she throws a cigarette in, wasting another cigarette. Hollywood only when they throw it on the floor and then a flame arises and they're like, oh no. She kills the saviors like that. So that happens. Rick and Co. find Carol and Maggie. Maggie does not want to do this anymore and kill humans. The guy says, he's literally like, alright, so where's Negan? And the guy's like, I am Negan. Just like that, and Carol's like, and she's holding the cross and basically bleeding from her hand. So that's the episode, man. What did I think about this overall? Let me give you the pros. First off, Carol and Maggie. Lauren Cohan and Melissa McBride. Fantastic actresses, dude. They were awesome this episode. They were strong. They were independent. You know, you believed it. They were emotional. They were raw. Something we haven't seen from Maggie and Carol in a very long time, man. So this episode, they freaking shined. One of the best episodes out of the whole season, man. The action in here, definitely. I love when that knife was through the zombie, like, and then it kind of went back that Paula did, like, after the first commercial. That was really nice. The action in here is really well done. Even though it's not an action-packed episode, definitely the zombie kills are really nice. Paula, also the character of Paula, was an interesting character. It's kind of sad to actually see her die after one episode. But when she was talking bad to Carol, you were like, bitch, you gonna die. You gonna die. Of course, they're pure evil, dude. That old lady that was like, oh, honey, we all the Negan. You could tell she was gonna die bad death, man. They're all pure evil there. The ending of the episode was really good as well because he ends up shooting the guy. Like, see that? Like, I am Negan. That I get when a guy says it. I'm not sexist or anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's better when a guy says I am Negan than a girl being like I am. Like, if Rick, come on. They've talked about Negan where Jesus says here that Negan's a guy. So if a girl said to Rick, I'm Negan, No, you're not. It's simple as that. You're not. So obviously you're lying. You know what I mean? So you kind of get that whole thing there. So that goes on there, but the ending of the episode was really good because he just shoots him and Carol's kind of bleeding from the hand. She's with a cross. Very intense episode, man. Very well, good dialogue, and the old lady with a cigarette too was very nice as well. Really good acting here, man. Very, very nice acting. So the only cons I have to say about this episode is we're all Negan. Yeah, all Negan. You're not Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is sexier than both of you combined. Carol is getting close to Paula. Did you see that when Carol was like, I don't want to do this, Paula. I said run away. And I'm going to get close to you now because I'm going to give you a chance to grab my gun and kill me. Or possibly kill Maggie when I could easily shoot you like that. Because obviously you're trying to get me to shoot you. I do not want to shoot you, but you're being a dick right now. You're being a major, major dick. And like, why don't you just kill her? I've killed far worse creatures than you. You know, like fucking side shot. No, Carol's just like, I don't want to do this. What happened to the Carol that was like, I drink the blood of my enemies? You know, what happened to that Carol? What happened? Guess the guy just died. The guy that fell on the floor. I guess he was dead the whole episode. You know. I guess that was it. Like, Paula knocked him down, and I guess there was no love or meaning to that guy. Also, Glenn was right there. Literally opened the door, and Glenn's like, what? Were they out there the whole time, or what took them forever? The one moment that they I'm not going to even go with it, dude. Whatever. That pissed me off at that point. So overall, I'm going to end up giving this episode of The Walking Dead, guys, an A-. It was a great episode, dude. Another awesome episode, dude. They're doing awesome. This is the best second half of any season The Walking Dead's had, man. Comment down below. Let me know your favorite part about this episode. And I'll be seeing you guys for the next 3 weeks for Walking Dead. Until next time, bye-bye.